Hey everybody, this is timetravelbeard. This is going to be the monthly shader update video for August. I actually got a lot of cool stuff done this month. I was going to walk around a little bit and maybe jump a few locations to show some of it. I was going through some changes and stuff. But one of the big things I did this month was to add temporal accumulation, which means that instead of just the ray tracing and the path tracing and all that light simulation happening just for one frame at a time, it's actually stacking the data between frames. That sort of technique can introduce ghosting, but you'll probably see there isn't ghosting on the entities. There may be a little bit of ghosting behind them, but on they themselves, there should be absolutely zero ghosting at all. I can fix the ghosting behind them. You saw it there for a second. But it's something I'm going to do in a few days. It really makes things look a lot better generally, but you can turn it off if you don't like it. And there's still little problems here and there, but I think it's really come a long way. Just how it works. You can see when you turn around, there's like a little second for things to kind of fade into the appropriate color for what's there, and that's it, just accumulating those frames. I also greatly improved the clouds. You can't tell in this biome because it's just kind of hazy and hot, so I'll switch a biome to show that. But I'm really pleased with how these changes just kind of make it look like you're doing a lot more work than you are, so you get much better frame rates for the appearance. And this is also testing out with the default sky ambience off, which cinematic was doing before, but I'm starting to do it on everything, which isn't the case yet. So here's with the default sky color back on, and it kind of fills in some spaces in ways that are inaccurate. You see the shadows are much brighter though this way, so I might leave that on like a stylized preset but off otherwise, because with it off it's just using what's actually around you for the ambient light and not adding sky to it inaccurately. I wanted to see one of these dudes with the shields because I just love the way the PBR for like the metal and bird looked on the shields. Now they're all missing though. They knew I was trying to make a video. Water still has the banding issues in the distance, but I think that in general it does pretty good with those little ripples and everything. We added soft shadows. There's a little bit of a halo on them going through the water. I need to work that out too. But man, I just love the way textures look. Let me go somewhere else. Let's see if I can just do it this way. Okay, so this is a spot that's one of my favorite spots for looking at the way I'm doing the new bounce light stuff with the temporal accumulation. Just because it kind of shows it good. This is still on like a medium where it's got a very low amount of rays, but there's a lot less artifacting than we used to get on that. And you see there's like no ghosting on the creatures, if I can get one in the light here. And we're getting a good bounce light without the kind of shiftiness that was in it before. But there is a little bit of ghosting you see when you turn the camera. I don't know if it's ghosting, but like where the light accumulation takes this thing to fade in. But these guys, you see, like they got nothing. Perfectly crisp. And with the torchlight, I want it really low, so it's kind of pixelated. The shadows still update super good. There is a little problem with it where I need to do something from your own shadows, because they kind of fade. Like, see, they kind of take a second. They lag, so I'm gonna fix that later. Let's go somewhere where there's more types of textures to look at. Like I said, this is on like I think medium. Let's actually just look at a preset. Low works perfectly without PDR packs now, so that's new. Medium, see, we're still getting some good light bounce, like off of the sun of those walls and everything, and it's much more coherent than it used to be. And we've got the colored lighting, of course. You see those little blue there, and they actually added red for the redstone torch. Yeah. Like Ultra is still going to run like crap. But there's not as much of a difference between it and medium now, since the ray accumulation is doing so much. But you can still see that since it's got more rays going out and doing more bounces, it definitely does still get a better picture. But if we go to like medium and just like add those extra light bounces, it gets pretty close at a lot better FPS, and it doesn't have any of that shiftiness we had before. Let me find some clouds. Actually, so here we've got some of the colored lighting, and one of the problems we had with it before, because I added the colored lighting and directional lighting, so you can see that there's a lot of 3D texture with this light, and like it's red because there's lava there. There's a little problem with the screen space transition on it looks like. But before, one of the problems we had is this lighting here would then stick to the camera, like see how like it knows there was a light behind us, and that updates when you look at it. To fix that stickiness, I just added like a fade, or as you get further away from something, even if you haven't refreshed it, the data just fades. It's like, oh, that's outdated, you've gone far enough away from that block that it's no longer there to give light. So that improves that scenario where we got the sticky light. It was kind of really buggy. Let's go to another spot. Here's outside here. You can see the clouds are actually visibly, like they visibly have stars now. And this is, I think, just on medium, which before looked like absolute trash because I was doing the denoising, and instead now I'm doing temporal accumulation. And it's just so much crisper. Let's look at what it was before. Before I had this denoising on it. I'm sure you all remember because it was horrible. I think I actually took it out of the menus, but it was like 1/10 of the resolution. Nights are still kind of too bright. I think I'm going to make them darker by default. And let's get somewhere with clouds, and I'll show some PBR textures in there. But you can see also, just even outdoors, how much cleaner the look of everything is. With the temporal accumulation, it just really kind of cleans up the image so much, and it makes these soft textures look so nice and soft. Hey buddy. And I just love like all the light bouncing and everything we're getting now. But again, the medium, I want more light bounces. Let's do maybe high. I don't know what all that does. 2 bounces, that'll be good enough. This will probably still be playable for most people. And you see like the metal still has like really good reflections and everything. And I made it so that the temporal accumulation like really respects the PBR textures. So you don't get sticky reflections or lighting on anything that should be rapidly updated like metal like that. So we keep that really good look to it. And it just really I think enhances the textures. I think I did a good job on it. There's, like I said, there's still more I need to do. I just love, even with the torch too, like it just kind of really shows off the shine, you know, in a good way. I really need to make nights darker by default. I love that shine though. Like that just, it says metal to me, you know what I mean? Alright, let's find some clouds. Well, first I'll show that night can be dark. In case you're new to the channel. Let's turn down the moon brightness. lower resolutions on the lower stuff. Also a little bit of outline problems, it looks like, on stuff. That's not there, or at least not as bad on the higher presets, or having the background resolution up be lower. Maybe I might put that. There's just stuff like that I need to fix. But man, I really love the torchlight. Let's get these clouds. I just love that look so much. And again, this is with the skylight still there. If I were to go to cinematic, or go in here and turn this off, it'll just take what's actually there. Which, once it's aware that the sky exists, it take a second when it first boots in. We get much darker shadows. There's trees over there. Maybe we'll have clouds in that area. And again, the water, it's still got that banding issue in distant horizons. I did ever notice, though, that with the temporal accumulation, the switch over, I'll show it flying fast in a minute, between distant horizons and not, got a lot more blurred, especially when you're flying fast, and especially if I put on the dither. So I'll do that in a little bit. But let's get in the woods here, and then let's see if we get any clouds. And again, the woods was a tricky spot for the shader before, because I'm not doing the voxelizing yet, so there's a lot of stuff that comes in and out of view. And that kind of has an opportunity to really make the shader look its worst. And you see the lighting looks a lot more stable than it used to, which is nice. It's a little pixelated because I'm on a low path tracing resolution right now, but it's still a lot better than it was. And even with something like fast wings, you can see there's no ghosting at all on that guy. I really wanted to preserve no ghosting. There's no ghosting on the leaves. Anything that moves isn't going to have any ghosting at all on its stuff. Let's get clouds. I might need to cheat it. So if you remember what the clouds used to look like, this is 100 times better, because before it was super pixelated and chonky, and it shimmered when you turn the camera, whereas now you can see that just on the edge of the screen it's kind of noisy at first, and then it fills in and is super clear really nicely. And I think this is like the best I'm probably going to do it, except I want to change the way they work. Now that they're actually showing on screen nice, I want to give them a lot more definition and little wisps. They already have a lot of variation, but there's a lot of opportunity to add little high frequency details, because I've got so much with like the super high clouds and the low clouds and the medium clouds. And they've got so much shape to them that I'll just add those little riffly edges, and I think that'll do a lot. One spot where the clouds still do look kind of bad now is with thunder, where they actually shine in other ways, because temporal accumulation just doesn't work with lightning flashes. So I've got it off for the sky when there's thunderstorms, which in some spots here it looks fine, but in certain other areas you'll see, especially with the super high clouds or certain changes, there's some more of that shimmer, but still a lot higher res than it used to be. This is running at lower resolution. If I put it up to full resolution, it might not be as noticeable. I could animate it too. I took off the animation for it when Thunder's going to, because I didn't want that to just be there distracting people. Yeah, strike over there. Especially at night. It's going to take a second for everything to refresh. Lightning did not work with temporal accumulation, so it's off. And see, there's a little bit of a problem with it looks like the lighting from it's stuck on things. So I might need to do some more work on that still. Get my rainbow. That's so nice. Let's go back to like medium. The medium should probably be playable for like on a lot more computers. And it still does path tracing and everything. Like all that bounce light, and to get these really good, still have really good 3D textures showing off even in like shadows. And the low option is now workable without, where did I click? Low. Without a resource pack. And it's not going to have all that janky shifting and everything. Because on low it just disables the path tracing. If you're using a resource pack that doesn't have individual leaves, you probably would also want to... So you know, I have one that's called like wind or wavy plants or something. Wind. Turn off independently waving branches. Because that effect looks really cool when they're not blocks. When they're blocks you want them stuck together, I guess. Yeah, so on low it just disables the path tracing, and then it only keeps reflections on really shiny stuff and on water. But you can also like adjust that and put it back on if you wanted to. I didn't put IPVR though, so like this doesn't have texture data, it just doesn't have data for it. I'll do that stuff later if people actually like this shader on low. I imagine most people that play with this shader are playing with it because they want to push the limits. You see the water still has reflections, still has off-screen reflections that update when you look at this stuff. And what else was I going to show? Flying fast. Put the texture back on. I think the textures show this. Alright, time to kill our FPS. Let's go to... let's see, we want an Electra. I don't know if you could hear my CPU fans, I hear them. We want some rockets. And if I fly quickly now, you see there's a little bit of a fade there, but if we wanted the ultimate fade, if we pump this up to like a 0.5 fade distance, you can see that there's like a good amount of fade going on. I'm going to make it even better in a second here, and it's going to blow your mind. You see here, it still has like a little smoothness to it. If it was coming into grass, you'd see it good. I need to add the thing I put in Simply Upscaled where it shrinks the discard circle so that you don't get a hole when you fly fast. Because I've got that code and it works. So I need to put that in here. So you might see a little bit of a hole under me as I move fast. But now with the dither on too, watch how smooth that transition is. Look at that. Like that's like that is the chef's kiss right there. And this is on medium, so you see how much better the clouds look on medium. As we fly through, look at that transition. it's a little chonky now with the load time. Let's let me save my CPU. Take a second to catch up to itself. Look at that nice smooth fade. So what's next for the shader? I'm still wanting to do voxel capture for better off-screen lighting and better colored lighting. And I still need to fix the banding in the water. I want to add more cloud detail. I want to fix some more little bits of ghosting with the temporal accumulation I added, where we've got what do we have? The ghosting of your shadow, and where the entities don't have temporal accumulation, I want to add it just with some more safeguards around it, so that it's only active when it knows it can be cleaned. And you see there's little bits of holes on the left of the screen there from the dither being on, where I need to shrink that circle. Other than that, I think that's an incredibly smooth fade. Look at that. And that's where the shader is right now for starting the month of August. So we got colored lighting, we got 10 times better cloud clarity, we got all the temporal accumulation, we got the directional blacklight lighting, we got the super smooth fade, whole bunch of stuff. And I'm hoping that, and I also got it working on AMD and Oculus and Iris and Nvidia. I still need to get this working on Intel and Optifine. Right now Optifine has broken water and broken handheld stuff. But overall, some good improvements this month. And I feel like it just looks a lot better in a lot of ways. So thanks for going with me for this ride. I hope you enjoyed the video. And I'll talk to you guys soon.